Hey guys, I just wanted to do a follow-up video for the trip video that I shot and do a slash gear video for what I like to take along when I'm solo camping or group camping. So I've had a few people ask me about the gear that I use. Um, so back to my video. I just want to mention that sorry about some of the zoomed in, just shoddy pictures and angles. The camera I'm shooting on is a Nikon D3100. It's an older DSLR camera, and it doesn't have an articulating lens, so I can't tell what's in the picture. I just have to shoot it, point at it, and guess. So what would happen is I'd point the camera ahead of me, zoom in on something, and then turn the camera back around on me and forgot to zoom back out. So then you'd have a frame full of my face, basically. And then I don't know if the auto zoom doesn't work real well, but that's why it was kind of really fuzzy too. So just wanted to kind of explain that and why that. That was I think the second video I ever shot. I think this is the third, so this is not something I just do this for fun. I'm not planning on putting out too many videos. I might just do a few here and there, because it is fun to kind of look back on. So, and then there was a few things I talked about that if you actually watched the whole video all the way through, you were probably, if you caught it, you're probably like, what the heck's he talking about? I had mentioned meeting a couple and meeting a gentleman on the Portage Trail. And I'd also talked about losing my fishing pole, or just not having it anymore. So you probably saw that and you're like, I don't even know what is he talking about? Well, I had a GoPro and I had a lot of GoPro footage, but because I was relatively new at shooting with GoPro, I did not realize, because I just kept a waterproof case on, and it was an old GoPro. It's like the original GoPro. The sound quality was just, it was terrible. You couldn't hear anything through the waterproof case, so I couldn't use any of the footage. And I had talked about meeting that couple, and I had talked about meeting that gentleman, and that's kind of, I introduced them to you in the GoPro footage, so that's kind of why when I threw it out there, like I'd already talked about it, that's why, because I had mentioned it in the GoPro footage before. And then I had also mentioned not having a fishing pole anymore. Well, I explained that in the GoPro footage as well. So what happened was there was a portage where I was getting in the river halfway through, and a gentleman stopped me and said was not the end of the portage. I actually had to go further down yet. So at that point I was a little discombobulated, and just in a mad rush to unload everything in my canoe and bring the canoe back further down the river. So I had leaned my fishing pole up against like a tree, and dummy me completely forgot it was there. So, and I didn't realize it until about two lakes over, I think. And at that point I'm like, I'm not going back to get it. So hopefully some kid found it, or some parent found it and they gave it to their kid. But hopefully somebody's getting some use out of it, and it's not just collecting rust at the side of the trail. So just wanted to explain those couple things about the video. So yeah, to the gear. I just want to go over some of the gear that I use when I am solo camping, and then when I take like my kids camping, or if I'm just going to base camp somewhere for a few days and weight's not much of an issue. So we'll go over a little bit of that. Okay. Okay, now the gear that we'll go over the gear I like to use when I'm solo camping. When I solo camp, I basically like to treat it as a backpacking trip, just because I want to single carry, and when I'm out by myself, I want to cover ground. I want to move. I want to see things. I don't want to stay stationary, because it's kind of boring when you're by yourself, basically. You know, I want to move. So I want to do everything as single carry. So every ounce I try to count every ounce, and I try to be as lightweight as possible. So now with that being said, there are 3 things where you can really shave off a lot of weight. That would be your pack, your sleeping bag, and your tent. So those 3 things can save you a lot of weight. So we'll start with the pack. When it comes to a pack, there are 2 schools of thought. There's the traditional portage pack, which I prefer, and then there's also like the rubberized seal line pack. It's got a big rubber coating on it. So those are the two main packs that are out there, and they each have their flaws and the positives. The positives and negatives. What I like about this is it's got the side pockets and these straps on the side to cinch down other additional things, and it's got this pocket here if you want to put your water bottle in it, and it's got a pouch right here, if you want to throw. I like to throw my map in there and whatnot and other things. It's got the same thing on this side, these straps and this pouch and this little pouch, and then it's also got these up here if you want to strap something to the top. You don't have all this on the side with the rubberized pack, and the rubberized pack is heavier. It's ensconced in rubber, right? So it's going to be a little heavier. So what I like to do, if I need to keep this waterproof, if I know if it's going to rain, I'll just grab like a lawn and leaf bag, and I will just line the inside of the pack with it if I need to do that. So now the one thing where it would be advantageous to have the rubberized pack is if you're going to be like say you're doing river travel, right, and you have to get in and out of the canoe a lot. So every time you get out of the canoe, you step in the river, and then you get back in the canoe. Well, what happens is you're bringing a lot of water into the canoe. So then before you know it, the whole bottom of your canoe is just going to be sloshed with just nasty, cruddy mud water, which it's going to soak into this, obviously. But I think a rubberized pack is going to protect your stuff a little better. But if you're traveling in the lakes, it's really not that big a deal. So that's why I just prefer these, just because they're a little lighter. This is just like a cheaper one. It's a Chinook, I think. It wasn't much. It's held up so far. So as long as it keeps holding up. But once it goes out, I'll probably get something a little more expensive, like a custom sewing or one like that. So then on to the sleeping bag next. So I like to use, when I'm solo camping or group camping, it doesn't matter, I prefer a down sleeping bag. If you can afford it, get down. It's so much better. It's just lighter, it packs down smaller, and I just want to give you an example. This is my daughter's synthetic sleeping bag. Okay, this is my down sleeping bag, and they're both rated for the same temperature. It's just, look at that. It's like the third of the size. So, and plus the way they make down now, like the big disadvantage of down in the past was if you got it wet, then it's not going to be any good, right? Well, most of the down nowadays is it's been treated with like a water resistance, so it's not waterproof by any stretch, but it's water resistant. And then also, I like to either put into a sil nylon compression sack, or just a sil nylon dry bag. Now onto the tent. This is just a solo tent. So if I'm solo camping, obviously I just want to use a solo tent. If I'm group camping, then I obviously you don't want to bring a bigger tent. But I just want to kind of show you too the size difference. Solo tent, 3-person tent, and this is the same brand. This is a Marmot Tungsten 1-person. This is a Marmot Tungsten 3-person. And obviously when you're group camping, you can split up the load a little more, right? You got more people to carry stuff. So when you're by yourself, you're carrying everything yourself, which is that's why you don't want to bring a 2-person tent when it's just you. Just 1-person tent, man. That's all you need. Okay, what next? Cooking. So when I'm solo, this is my cook kit. I think you've seen me use this in the trip video if you watched it. It's just a GSI halite 1.1 pot. No, you stay. That's stay. That's my dog, Coda. Stay. And then my twig stove. So you've seen me use that, right? Just all this into one thing. Just like that. Real nice and light. And then my coffee mug always goes with me whether I'm solo or group. But if I'm group camping, then I'm going to bring like a larger stove because you generally have to boil more water, right? So this is a Coleman Peak 1. I don't even know if they make this anymore. I had this, I think back when I was in high school I had it. It's still working, still works good. I like it because basically anything that breaks on it, you can get parts and fix it. So it's worked well for me. And then if I am solo, I just bring like a dehydrated meal and that's it. Just fits right in that pot. But if I'm with a group or I'm base camping, I'm going to bring a larger pot for more food, obviously. And then I'll probably do like, pancakes or something in the morning. I'll actually bring a pan. Solo, I just do oatmeal in the morning. That's it. So, all right. What's next? Wood processing. When I'm solo camping, I generally just bring a saw if I know it's not going to rain. If I know it's going to rain, then I will bring a little Fiskars hatchet too. It's not the best hatchet, but it works really well. It works really well. It just doesn't have a lot of oomph to it. And the saw is it's called a Saw Viber. They don't actually make this saw anymore. But I love this saw. It is so lightweight, and you can actually cut pretty decent size hunks of wood with it. So just kind of fits together like that, and then you just tighten it down like that. So I'll bring this when I solo camp. But yeah, I love this saw. So I don't know when I group camp, I've got a Agua Canyon Boreal 21. Great saw. This saw is awesome. I keep this in the back of my truck in case I need. We're going down a 2-track or something, and there's a tree falling over, and I need to cut it away because you can cut some decent sized trees with this. So I will bring this when I'm group camping, but it's heavy. It's heavy compared to this. I mean, I think this is like twice the weight of this. So I don't know what I'm gonna do if this ever breaks. I can probably just fabricate one of those, but I think I might just get, like, if this breaks, I'd just get like a Silky Gomboy and use that for solo. And then, like I said, if it's gonna rain, I'll bring the Fiskars hatchet, which is it's nice, lightweight, not a lot of oomph. But if I'm group camping and I can afford the weight, I will bring the Husqvarna Carpenter's axe, which is their Carpenter's hatchet, Carpenter's axe, I think, which got a little more heft to it. So I really like this a lot. Just I don't want to carry it by myself. So that's that. Oh, I forgot to mention when I am camping group. I obviously had to bring more utensils, and I'll bring plates and bowls. These are Sea to Summit plates. These are awesome, awesome plates and bowls. They just kind of nest right in your thumb like that. Lightweight, nice and light. And then going back to my stove, the one thing I noticed on my last trip, because it rained, the morning after, I think that evening, when I got to my next campsite, because everything was still kind of damp yet, it took forever to boil water with the twig stove. So if I know it's going to rain, I may just bring an MSR pocket rocket. I just picked this up, so I may just bring that instead. I do enjoy using that. It's lighter too, so, and plus you don't have an empty canister to pack in and out. But yeah, we'll see. And then obviously what's not going to change is my sleeping pad, Thermarest Neo Air, and my camp pillow, just an inflatable pillow. And when I go solo, or even when I go period, I don't bring the bag with it. I just leave it out of the bag. I feel I don't need the bag, so it's just extra weight that I don't need. First aid kit. Now, maybe I might get chastised on this, I don't know. When I'm group camping, I bring the full kit and caboodle. Got everything that you might need in there. So yeah, it's loaded to bear. Tape, gauze, tweezers, sling, the whole 9 yards. When I'm by myself, I just bring an assortment of bandages, some antiseptic wipes, aspirin, some butterfly bandages, that type of stuff. Just it's a little lighter. I mean, I figure anything more than that, and I need medical attention anyway, so hopefully some camper comes by and can assist me. Let's see. I will bring a tarp. No, sorry, not tarp. Hammock when I am group camping. Just because usually when you're group camping, you're not going all day. You're kind of got more camp time, so it's nice to lounge in a hammock. And like I said, there's more people to carry the weight. Let's see. Tarps. If I am solo, I will just carry this 5x8, I think, still nylon tarp. That's all I need for one person. If I'm with a group, I got a 10x10. It's not still nylon though, so it's kind of heavy. I'd like to get a still nylon one. So maybe I'll put that on the wish list. But this I will carry when I'm with a group. And then, let's see, that's my bear bag. I think if you watched the video, you've seen that, but I'll just go over that again real quick. It's just a bag with a hunk of paracord. Then I got a little carabiner attached to it. So you put a little rock in this bag, and then you can attach the carabiner to the bag, and then throw it up over your tree. Hang your food. And then if I need it, I've got hunks of paracord for the tarp, or to string up a line to dry my stuff. Again, if I know it's not going to rain, I don't usually bring this, just because it's added weight. And then my ditty bag that's got all miscellaneous stuff in it: aspirin, sport, water purification tablets, fire starter, toothbrush, that type of stuff. Patch kit. And then I have these ones that I'll bring along too. I'll give to my daughters when they go camping with me. So they each have their own. And if I can, I will link a description in the video where I got these from. These things are great, man. It's from a lady, I don't know the name of the website. Well, her website is Foxlite Gear, So they're Foxlite pouches. But I think she sells on, is it Esty? ETSY, I think is the website, I think. But I'll try and link a description. But yeah, they're great. I love those pouches. I was turned on to those by Joe Robinette. So saw those in one of his videos, and they're awesome. And then water. So when I'm by myself, it's just a Sawyer Mini. And then what I like to do, I'm sure most of you guys have seen the Sawyer Minis, the bag that comes with it. This is what I like to do with the bag that comes with it. I don't like that bag. I prefer to use a smart water bottle, and then as a backup, it's an Evernew. You can get these in different sizes. This is a 900 milliliter. You can get larger size Sawyer bags. I just don't like them because they don't roll up real nice. You know, this rolls up real nice, compact. You can fit it right easy in your pocket. So this is my backup though. So what I generally like to do is super simple, way easy. You just fill the smart water bottle with water, and then screw on your Sawyer. There you go. You got a water bottle. Now obviously this is hard plastic, so you run the risk of it cracking over use, so that's why I have the bag too, as a backup. Oh, so then another reason why I like that portage pack. So what I'll do is when I'm done with paddling over lake and I got a portage, I'll dump out my water, stick it in this little side pouch there, and that's how I carry it. And then when I get to the end of the portage, get in my canoe, I'll take it out, and then I'll set it in the bottom of the canoe. So that works out really well. Really well. I like that setup a lot. Then when I'm with a group, I use a gravity system with the Sawyer bag, and then into this like 2.5 gallon plastic jug. Let's see. So a map. Everybody should have a map, obviously, and a compass. Know how to use it. So I don't use a map bag per se. I don't feel you need it. Just a regular Ziploc bag is good enough. But what I like to do is put the compass right in the bag so you can see it. And then I will just lay this right at the bottom of my canoe so that I can look at where I'm going, and then I can look at the compass and see what direction I'm traveling. So that works out pretty good. Last but not least is my PFD. This is a NRS Chinook. Great PFD. I love it. It's got a bunch of pockets on the front. So I try to be pretty minimalist even when I'm group camping when it comes to fishing. So whatever I can fit in these pockets is what I bring. If I can't fit it in these pockets, then I don't bring it. So I usually just try to keep, like, here's a Rapala, and then just some spoons, jigs, spinners in there. Let's see, some more Rapalas, rubber crawlers, that type of stuff. Snippers, hemostats. So yeah, like I said, if I can't fit it in here, then I don't want to bring it. It's just not. It's just more effort for me. So it's one more thing to carry that I really don't want to. So that works out pretty well. But yeah, this is I highly recommend you get if you canoe a lot, you get a canoeing specific PFD. It just makes it so much more comfortable than those cheap ones you get from Walmart. Because basically they're all have a high back like this, or at least a thin back, so when you're leaning back in your kayak or your canoe seat or whatnot, you're not leaning into a big PFD. So they're not cheap. I mean, I think this one was like $100, but well worth it if you ask me. Let's see. Real quick, let me talk about the clothing that I like to bring or not necessarily what I like to bring, but I'm not going to tell you what I like to bring because everybody's different. What might keep me warm might be not enough for you, or it might be too much for you. Everybody's different, right? Some people run hot, some people run cold. But with that being said, there are a couple things that I will say. Avoid cotton at all costs if you can. I mean, cotton's great if you're going to hang out at a buddy's house and sit around a campfire, or go to a Friday night football game, something like that. Cotton's fine. But if you're in the backcountry, it's terrible. Like cotton jeans are, oh my gosh, they're awful. Cotton, the problem is when you get it wet, it just gets super heavy, clings to your body, and it takes forever to dry. So you want to get synthetic fabrics whenever you can. So they're going to dry fast, they're going to be lightweight, they're breathable, you're just going to be far more comfortable. And that just goes for everything. Socks, underwear, pants, shirts, even a hat, synthetic hat. I mean, you can get away with wearing a cotton baseball cap. A lot of guys do it, but you'll be more comfortable if you just try to avoid cotton. Footwear. Generally what I like to do is I got some just trail shoes, trail runners for when I'm actually out paddling and portaging. Then when I get to camp, I like to use a old pair of jogging shoes because they're super lightweight. Jogging shoes are really lightweight. They weigh hardly anything at all. I think the pair I have weighs 13 ounces, so hardly anything. I know some guys like to use like neoprene socks when they get to camp. I've never tried it, so I don't know if it's any good or not, but yeah, you can try that too. Like they'll wear like a pair of neoprene and then their shoes, and then when they get to camp, they will change into a new pair of neoprenes that are dry. The thing I don't like about that is it just doesn't seem like it would breathe really well. Like your feet would get really clammy. The one thing you don't want is wet feet, because you can end up getting some issues with your feet. But if it works for you, great. And then the second piece, as far as clothing goes, layer, 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 layer. It's better to have 2 or 3 thin layers than one heavy layer. So, like your pants would be long underwear perhaps, and then some nylon pants, and rain pants then if you need them. Your top would be like a t-shirt, and then a button-down shirt, and then either a jacket or a pull-up, something like that, or a technical shell. Technical shells are great because not only do they block the wind, but they're generally always waterproof, so those are really good. And as far as clothes go, like none of that stuff, it's not cheap. I'm not gonna lie, it's not cheap. Like I wear Fall Raven Vita Pro pants. They're awesome pants. I highly recommend them if you're looking for some pants. But they're not cheap. They're like 150 bucks. You can find them on sale sometimes, but they're well worth it. The stuff is worth it. I'll try and link it in the description too. There's a website you can go to that has a lot of cheaper clothes, or like discontinued or prior year models or colors. It's called Steep and Cheap. That's where I get a lot of my clothes from. So yeah, check them out. But yeah, that's about it. So hopefully you learned something from this video. And I will see you on the next one. If I make I'll make another one. It might be a little while though. So I bought a new canoe, so I'd like to do a review on that once I can get it out. I bought it over the winter, so haven't even had a chance to get it out yet. So I'd like to do a review video on that. So looking forward to that. So anyways, just thanks for watching, and I will see you guys later. And the last thing I forgot to mention was camp chair. So this is just like your basic Helinox type chair. I always like to bring a chair. This is your basic Helinox type chair. I always like to bring a chair. I mean, I know it weighs a little more, but I'm not getting any younger, so I always need some back support. And it's not too much weight. I don't bring the bag with it, just bring the chair. So It folds up super easy. I'm sure everybody knows about these, but it's just the Helinox knockoff is what it is. So yeah, I always bring that regardless. So that's it. That is the gear I bring when I go camping. Thanks.